All right, let's talk about something you probably put on this morning without even thinking about it, your socks. But you know what? There's a whole world of myths and weird marketing claims packed into that simple piece of clothing. And today, we're going to pull that thread and unravel the whole thing. Let's get into it.
So you pull them on every single morning, right? You're expecting comfort, you're expecting protection. But then the end of the day rolls around and your feet are damp, maybe a little smelly, or worse, you've got blisters. Suddenly it feels less like protection and a whole lot more like a betrayal. So what is actually going on inside our shoes?
Okay, let's kick things off with the biggest legend in the entire sock drawer, pure cotton. For, decades, we've been told that 100% cotton is the absolute gold standard for comfort and breathability. But is it really? So here's where the story totally falls apart. The myth is that it's breathable and wicks sweat away. But the reality? It's completely different. Cotton is fantastic at absorbing moisture. I mean, it's great at it. But it has practically zero ability to then release it. It just holds on. So all that sweat just sits there, making your feet feel damp and stuffy. Honestly, the best way to think about a pure cotton sock is like a tiny sponge wrapped around your foot. As soon as it gets wet from sweat, the fibers swell up. That traps heat right against your skin and makes the sock lose its shape. And that saggy, damp fabric, it starts rubbing. And that is the perfect recipe for friction, blisters, and of course, a little party for odor-causing bacteria. So if cotton is a no-go, what about that other hero material marketers love to push? You've seen it, natural bamboo. They sell it as this green, eco-friendly, silky soft alternative. But as you're about to see, the real story is, well, it's a lot more complicated than that. This quote right here from textile experts just cuts straight through all that marketing noise. Let that sink in. The soft, silky bamboo fabric in your socks isn't just, shaved off a bamboo plant. No way. It's actually the end product of a really intense chemical process. Okay, check out this journey. It starts as a bamboo plant, sure, but then it's crushed into a pulp. That pulp gets dissolved in a pretty harsh chemical solution, and then it's pushed through this device to create a regenerative fiber. So what's the bottom line? By the time this whole process is over, the material is chemically identical to rayon or viscose. It's a long, long way from the natural plant it started as. All right, so what about those socks that promise to solve the odor problem for good? You've seen them, antibacterial socks. The claim is they kill bacteria and keep your feet fresh all day long. But a lot of people buy them and end up asking a pretty frustrating question. And you know what? It is a totally fair question. If the technology is so amazing, why doesn't it seem to work the way they say it will? Well, the answer comes down to one really, really important little detail. See, the promise is simple, no more foot odor. But the limitation, the catch, is everything. Those antibacterial agents are woven into the fabric of the sock. So yeah, they can help reduce the bacteria growing on the sock itself, but they do almost nothing to address the bacteria that are already living on your skin, which, by the way, is where most of the odor is actually coming from. And on top of all that, any of that antibacterial treatment can literally wash out over time. Plus, you have to watch out for the marketing hype. You might see some brands bragging about a 7A rating, but the official standard is only 3A. They just made that higher number up to sound better. But really, at the end of the day, no sock in the world can replace just good old-fashioned foot hygiene. Okay, so after tearing down all of those myths, what are we supposed to do? How do we actually find a great pair of socks? Well, it's not about finding some magic material. It's all about picking the right blend for the right activity. So look, here's a super simple guide. For just your average everyday wear, a cotton blend that has a little bit of spandex in it is perfect. It gives you comfort and a nice snug fit. For sports or hitting the gym, you absolutely want synthetics like polyester or nylon. They actively pull that moisture away from your skin. And for cold weather, a wool blend is king. It keeps you warm even when it gets a little damp, and it's incredibly durable. So if you only take one single thing away from all this, please let it be this. Ignore the buzzwords. Ignore the fancy marketing concepts on the front of the package. Flip it over, look at the tag with the actual fabric list, and choose the right material composition for what you need, not the marketing concept they're trying to sell you. So there you have it. You are now equipped with the knowledge to decode those labels. The next time you go shopping for socks, you're going to know exactly what to look for. So the only question left is, what secrets are you going to uncover in your next pair?